Hey, you all. Welcome back. Y'all already know what it is. You see the title of this video. This is Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 5. I will say that this episode was better than the last 4. It still isn't giving me what I need, but I have a lot of commentary for this episode. I do. So it was pretty good. It wasn't bad. Also, in my last review, I failed to articulate myself. So I was saying hi, I didn't like the show thus far. And I'm in good company. But what I was attempting to articulate, and I failed to do so, is that it's not that I want more mess. To me, the cast does not marry well together. Someone else said it in my comments. I got to start remembering those of you who say great comments. And I got to start including it in my video, y'all. Just recognizing you for giving me these thoughts. But they aren't authentic. And that's what I mean by the storylines have come to a close. They just don't seem to flow well as a cast. It seems very disjointed to me. And so I want a new cast that's fresh to bring fresh storylines to the table. And it's authentic. They're authentically themselves. And I just feel like right now this cast is very disjointed. It's just all over the place for me. But that's what I meant. Also, shout out to y'all who pointed out that the picture in last week's episode in Sheree's phone was of Dennis and Ralph. Baby, I did not realize that was Dennis. That's how much I was not paying attention. And then I thought they said it was a man named Genesis. My bad. I did better this time, you all. I took notes and I paid attention. So let's go ahead and get into it. We pick up where we left off at dinner. They're talking about Anthony. And Sonya really doesn't understand why Drew would keep someone like Anthony around, knowing he's messy. Even though she didn't know about the picture, you know that he's messy. Why would you, as a professional, why would you keep him on? Sonya, Drew is a mess. Have you seen her? Have you hung around her? Obviously you have, because you don't want to be friends with the girl no more, okay? She's a mess and she wanted to know the tea. That's why. But I bet you now she'll fire him. I bet you. See, now that he said something about her husband, now she'll fire him. But beforehand, it was all good for him to talk ish about other people he's worked for. Not cool. So we see that Sonya is realizing that Drew is not her cup of tea. They kind of discussed it numerous times during the episode. We'll get more into it at the end. But listen, things happen. Sometimes you think you're going to like someone because you have a shared experience. Maybe it's a project you were working on. Maybe you guys are co-workers or former co-workers. Maybe you all are castmates, whatever it may be. You think you're going to like this person and you start to hang out with them outside of that thing, right? That shared experience. And you realize, oh, this person isn't my type of hype. It's happened to me before, right? It just is what it is. And it's best to cut it off while it's early. So I'm not mad at Sonya. Ken tells Drew, listen, you owe Sheree an apology because she didn't even tell me about the Anthony situation. And Sheree was like, yeah, I didn't do her like she did me. And then she went and told Candy. And then Candy went and told everyone else. Sheree, Candy's been here for 13 seasons. She's always been a gossiper. That she is firmly planned. If Candy ain't gonna do nothing else, she's going to eat. She's going to make money. She's going to push off her sex toys on us, and she's going to gossip. Okay? Candy is going to do those 4 things. So, baby, ain't nothing new. She even did it to Phaedra, who at that time, they were good friends. Ran and told everybody, she's full term. Girl, we knew. She's 10 months sitting out here talking about she 2 weeks. Girl, bye. Bye, Phaedra. But no, Candy's going to do that. She apologized, but she ain't really sorry. She gonna do it again. So Drew then apologizes. She's like, I'm sorry if I misstepped. I'm sorry if I put my hands in your face. I'm surprised no one on the Atlanta cast called her out, because it's not if you did those things, and that is not an apology. Saying someone, I'm sorry if I cursed you out, knowing you cursed them out, that's not an apology. I would rather you not apologize than to give me a half-assed apology. I don't like that. So while they're at dinner, darling, Kenya gets a text by Mark. Listen, I'm not going to stay too long on this because I don't know what advice to give Kenya. I mean, it pains me to see that Mark is purposefully making this woman's life a hell at this point. But this is what I will say. Women, listen, okay? Listen to me. Please do everything you can to properly and thoroughly vet these men before you A, get married to them or have a serious long-term relationship with them, or B, have a child with them. Because him texting her and he's like, hey, come on, you need to come pick up your baby. I gotta go to work. That's not cool. You rarely even see your child. And the little time you do spend with her, you don't even want to spend it. And I get what Kenya was saying. She wants them to have a bond, but that's on Mark to want to have a bond with his own daughter. It's not on you. But unfortunately, the parent who quote unquote stays, which is usually the mom, they're the ones to get reamed in the future because how come my dad ain't never called me? How come you ain't never let me see my dad? So it's almost like women are in a damned if you do or damned if you don't position. And just please properly vet these men, because the little we did see of Mark, it was nothing impressive. Nothing impressive. He wasn't nice. He wasn't kind. He wasn't caring. He always went out of his way to purposefully embarrass Kenya. Like, whether someone likes Kenya or not, I don't care. These are characters on the show. But when you see someone's husband talking cash money about them with no regard, and you're sitting there and you're seeing her look at you like ixnay, and you just keep talking, nah, do your best to thoroughly and properly vet these men before you have children with them or before you get into a long-term relationship with them, because you'll be dealing with a local joker like Mark for the rest of your life, okay? So anyways, they go back inside and Marlo tells Candy, like, listen, this sex stuff gotta stop. I'm not walking around New York with vibrating underwear. In Candy's one-on-one, she said that Marlo needs to loosen up, and then went on to say she's used to things vibrating in her underwear. I didn't like that, and let me tell you why. I have a problem with people who don't respect boundaries. And Candy's response is indicative that she doesn't respect boundaries. If someone tells you, I don't want to do something, your response shouldn't be to loosen up. I don't care if they're a stick in the mud. That's their business. That's their personality. And you telling them that you just need to loosen up when it comes to sex, it's not cool. If a man were to say that, we would be pissed. I'm not implying that Candy is a predator by any means. But I told you all in my last review, when someone is obsessed with sex, even though that is part of her brand, my spidey senses begin to tingle. It's not normal for you to be overly obsessed with this one thing and then try to force it on someone. If Marlo wants to be behind closed doors with her stuff, she can be. If Candy wants to be sexually free with her stuff, she can be that. How about we respect everyone instead of crossing boundaries? I didn't like that. And then she tried to basically slut shame her by saying, oh, you let things vibrate in your panties. Candy, let's not start this war. Let's not do this, because the streets talk heavy about you. And I don't even know if it's all true, but every time someone comes after you, Candy, they mention your past and what someone just said. You want to be the last person in the line to slut shame anyone. All right? All right. Moving on. Next, we're in day 2 of New York, and the women are just running around doing different stuff. Like, Candy, she sat down, I guess, with marketing and production for the play. And tickets have been selling mainly from Atlanta and the state of Texas. So shout out to y'all for supporting Candy and her Broadway debut. Or at least I think it's her Broadway debut. But anyways, Sonya and Kenya meet up and they're just talking. And first, I want to take this moment to highlight why it's important to take accountability. Because Drew, you need to be listening up. So Kenya told Sonya, she was like, I kind of went hard at Ralph, but she felt triggered. You're talking to Drew in this way, basically you're gaslighting her, and she felt triggered and she projected. And I like that Sonya was like, you and I don't have a problem, but if you would have did that to my husband, we would have been tussling. She didn't say that, but y'all know we've been tussling, okay? And I appreciate that, because what it tells me is that Kenya reflected on her behavior. And honestly, when I review these shows, what is missing is people who reflect and then take accountability and then course correct and apologize. And we see Kenya do that later on. That's what I'm asking for. Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's what I'm asking for. No one is perfect. I make mistakes. I say stupid stuff. I've done stupid things. I'm a human. I'll continue to do stupid stuff. But the goal is to grow, recognize when you've behaved in a manner that you did not care for, and then apologize, take accountability, and try to make sure that doesn't happen again. But she also recognized why her and Ralph had that exchange, because she was triggered because of her own experience with Mark. It happens. We're human beings. We think and we feel. But just take accountability. That's all that I want from these shows, okay? So I like that Kenya did that, right? She was going to apologize to Ralph. They bring up Ralph and Drew, and Sonya once again is just saying Drew isn't her type of height. You know, she's not really feeling her. You know, this is not the person she thought she was. She didn't like the whole putting her hand in Sheree's face, and she plans to address it with Drew. But good luck, because you know Drew doesn't take accountability for anything. Next, we see Sheree and Candy. They're talking, honey, Tyrone ain't coming. Okay? What that woman say from TikTok? Stand up. Stand up. You all weak in the knees. Stand up. Like, Tyrone is not coming. He has never planned to come. I really feel sorry for Sheree, and I felt sorry for her at the end of the episode, and we'll get there and discuss. But honey, Tyrone ain't thinking about you, talking about he has to be in a 100-mile radius, and they were well within that radius. He doesn't want to come. Period. Forward and the blank. Moving on. Next, this is the day of Candy's play, and they're gonna go, I guess, for lunch before the evening activities take off. And so Kenya comes up with another game. Honey, Kenya, girl. The last time you came up with a game, we was at your daughter's party and people was talking about, you know, at a child's party, honey. Like, girl, no more games. no more games. But the game is the most famous person you've ever dated, because Marlo said her and Jazzy Faye used to kind of do a lot of here and there. And I thought it was interesting because Marlo said, well, you know, we didn't get too deep because he had a girlfriend and I won't be a side chick. But then you just said he was your boo thing. So how long was y'all dealing? How long was y'all willing and dealing, Marlo? But I'm going to stay out of grown folks' business. So Candy said that she had a full-on relationship with Gerald Levert. I never knew that, did y'all? I had never heard of that, but I guess at that time I was like, had to be a kid or early teen, so I wouldn't know anyway. Drew, and y'all, please, I might rant on this. I'm not gonna rant, but I feel a rant tornado in my spirit. I feel it in my chest here. So Drew says, you know, there's a certain king of the NBA, and he used to listen to my music, and he used to win games off of that. Y'all, I'm over it. I'm so tired of Drew, and let me tell you why. She is disrespectful as hell. First of all, I'm with Sonya. As far as I've known, LeBron and Savannah have been together since they were in high school. Now, let me say this. Anybody that's been together since high school, they've been together that long, there's some makeups to breakups. There's going to be some things in there. No one's relationship is perfect, period. But they are married now. And this is the second or third time that Drew has mentioned that she has dated LeBron James. This is inappropriate. And she always says it with such glee, and she has a glow on her face as if her husband's not sitting right next to her. That is disrespectful to her and her relationship, and it's disrespectful to LeBron and Savannah because they don't bother no one. And I'm going to tell you who really don't bother no one. Savannah don't. Savannah posts her little pictures on Instagram and she moves on about her business. Why do you keep, in the words of Phaedra Park, re-bringing this up? No one cares that you dated LeBron James. He went to the league when he was in high school. So no one, actually when he got out of high school. Why do you keep bringing this up? Are you trying to piss somebody off? Like, it's almost like you're trying to create a wedge between their relationship because there's no reason for you to keep mentioning this. All right, y'all dated. Now you with Ralph. We see how that's going. What's next? Why can't you just let sleeping dogs lie? It's one thing to mention it once, but she keeps mentioning it, and I'm not here for that. I'm not. And girl, what music was LeBron listening to? What music? What music does Drew Sidora have? Tell me, honey, because I don't know of any. Her music career is the same as her acting career, non-existent. And I don't like that disrespect because you're just not going to keep bringing it up. And then because of this episode, it created other speculation that LeBron posted this letter to his wife because of Drew. Honey, they're not thinking about Atlanta. You know how much money LeBron makes? He's a billionaire. Savannah's not thinking about you. She's counting her coins, honey. Maybe you should do the same over there with Drop It with Drew. Good Lord. So anyways, we move on to Marlo. She's dated Gene Simmons. Cool beans. And then Kenya says she once dated Prince. I can believe it. Prince loves beautiful women, and Kenya is a beautiful woman. Not hard for me to believe. And Drew, how dare you go there? Kenya's a book of lies and fairy tales. Really? We'll get to it with that Drop It with Drew, okay? So then Marlo asked Sheree why Tyrone wasn't coming, because, honey, he doesn't want to. The man is a felon. He's not coming. Let's not keep pressing Sheree about this. He's not coming. Period. And if you know, like I know, he probably has other women on the side. And we'll talk about that when Sheree says she put her life on hold. Bad idea, wrong idea. So they are on the way to the play later that evening. They're boarding the bus. Candy's telling everyone they have to be on time. How ironic, considering Candy is never on time and don't give a damn. Y'all remember where did she show up late to? And Kenya started talking about her. She said, I don't give a damn about nothing you saying right now. She went completely off. Candy is always late. So how ironic that she wanted everyone else to be on time, because you knew they weren't playing with you. And that's why I tell y'all, people who are late are full of BS, because when it comes to something they need to do or want to do, all of a sudden they have great time management skills. But for everything else they don't give a damn about. It's very disrespectful. I can't stand people that are always late. It's disrespectful, and it just shows your lack of care for other people. So they get on the bus. I loved Marlo's outfit. Was that Sergio Hudson? It looked like Sergio Hudson. I loved it. It gave me, the belt, of course, was giving me Michelle Obama First Lady. I love the red. Red looks good on Marlo. Love, love, love the outfit. So Candy, Sonya, and Drew decided to participate. The other women don't. Kenya made the point to say, I'm not wearing vibrating underwear around other people's husbands for them to... I agree with Kenya. It's too much. So what stood out to me about this scene, right, is that they have the vibrating underwear on. I can't even believe we're discussing this. And Sonya and Drew stand up on the bus, zip their pants down, place their hands inside their underwear to adjust the vibrator in front of everyone on that bus and on national TV. And then when they finished, they zipped it back up and sat down, and I didn't see not one person wash their hands or at minimum put a little sanitizer on there. We're going to go ahead and move on. So they had to walk 7 minutes to the venue because of traffic, which if you all have been in New York, you know it has horrible, horrible, horrible traffic. I'm like Marlo. I'm not walking in heels. I'm not walking in my fine Sergio Hudson and becoming sweaty and hot because y'all didn't plan right. No, ma'am. She got her a bike and rode her behind there. I'm Marlo, and Marlo is me on this one. Moving on. Next, we see the play is over with. Everyone seemed to enjoy the play. And so they're going to have a little bit of a pajama jam nightcap back at the hotel. How you having pajama jams and no one was wearing pajamas? Like, no one was wearing, I swear what Sheree had on was not pajamas, but maybe I was tripping. I could have been tripping, y'all. So Sheree asked Kenya if she had her little vibrating underwear on, and Kenya said no. She said, what is this? Is this Eyes Wide Shut? Did I miss them passing out masks? I am here with Kenya and Marlo. Like, ma'am, I'm not doing that. It's over with. We're done. The play is over with. We're not doing this. No, ma'am. So Kenya, Sheree, and Marlo begin to talk about Drew. And they're just saying that her and Ralph's relationship seems odd. And it does. It seems odd because they're faking it. This isn't real. This isn't really real, in the words of Jamie Foxx. This is made up. That's why it seems so odd, because they're faking it. Something like, I'm not saying their relationship is fake, but their storylines are fake. That's why their relationship seems odd. They focus on Drop It with Drew, and honey, the website is down. Did you expect anything different from Drew? We're talking about a woman who was so petty and broke that she brought a $25 wig from King's Beauty Supply on Natural Bridge and said it was $1,000 to a Christmas exchange party, gift party. You expected her website to be up. The woman didn't even know her own financials of her business, and talking about she's a businesswoman. Okay, in the words of Cadillac Kimberly, just because you own a business and you a woman don't make you no businesswoman. And that describes Drew to a T. So the men come in. Kenya apologizes to Ralph. Ralph accepts her apology. And the men said, we're going to head on out. Because we already know whenever there's y'all around, it's drama around, okay? So Sonya takes the time to address her issues with Drew. I think that Sonya had a difficult time landing the plane, but as I stated earlier, she views Drew as childish. The antics of the show, going off on Sheree, putting her hand in her face. She's doing things that Sonya doesn't feel comfortable with and that someone she would call a friend would not do. Now, Drew points out, like, girl, you just was in my room and had my makeup artist do your makeup. How come you didn't tell me then? But then Sonya makes a good point and said, you had an entourage like you was Beyonce. And Drew, come here. Come here. If you are going to have an entourage, I need your hair, I need your makeup, and I need your outfits to be on point. Y'all know I don't care for Portia, but almost every scene of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Portia was on point. So if you're going to have an entourage, you need to be sharp from head to toe. And it's not giving what a large entourage is supposed to give. So you need to do some reevaluations of the people on your team, because it don't make no sense that your wig still look like that. You got 20, 30 people in your room. No, ma'am, not at all. So Drew says, well, when you were in that accident, I came and picked you up. How come you didn't tell me then? Drew, you know why this is a TV show. And the producers told her to wait until they had cameras around, okay? And so she waited till all the women were around to tell you that she didn't want to be friends with you anymore. And I don't have a problem with it. Drew is annoying. She's fake. She's all that. And Sonya doesn't want to be around it. I don't care if they were friends before. I don't care the length of time of their friendship. I don't care about any of that. Anytime you decide that a friendship isn't a fit for you, you have the right to walk away. And at least she's trying to do it semi-peacefully. So then Marlo brings up Drew's website and was like, listen, we wanted to support lies, but it was down. Drew, I don't know if you all notice this. Whenever she lies, she scratches her ear or she puts her finger in her ear. And so when Drew's lying, she's lying. So Drew said, oh, well, the website's down. Then she said, oh, no, it crashed. Which one is it, girl? Did you not know the website was down, or did it crash because so many people were buying Drop It with Drew? Then she attempts to explain her business. Drew, this is how I know you ain't no businesswoman. Where is your elevator speech? I don't care if you're an entrepreneur. I don't care if you work for someone else. You need to have an elevator speech. And you didn't have one. Well, we do this, and then we do this, and then we do that. Where is your elevator speech to sum it up? Literally, they didn't need to know all those details. They simply want to know, what is Drop It with Drew? In layman's terms, what is it? And you can even explain your own quote unquote business. Then we get to the one-on-one. And the producers asked her, how much does it cost to sign up with Drop It with Drew? Oh, there goes that ear thing again. Oh, you guys are asking me financials? Oh my God. She doesn't know. She calls her business partner, Jamie, and Jamie doesn't know. I'm with Candy. I'm wondering how legit this business is. And based on Drew's defensive response to Candy, y'all want to see how much money I make? No, we don't. We don't, because we know you lying. We know you lying. There's no way. And Marlo said it. So is this a program for women who go and get their bodies done and they just want to maintain it? Well, don't know. You don't know what it's about. I need to, if I had the time, I would get to the bottom of what this business is. But it's giving that it's someone else's business and that she's just a spokesperson for it. That's what it's giving. It's giving that this isn't her business. Because you don't even know how much it costs to sign up. You could have said we had different tiers. And depending on which tier it is, you could start off at tier A and it's going to be da-da-da-da. And then tier B, you didn't even have that. You was scratching your ear the whole time you was talking to Jamie, and your business partner who knew the financials didn't even know. I need the app. Baby, my good eye is on Drew. Then we see Sheree, and she was like, listen, y'all can leave the health and fitness to me, which she was like, oh, this is real. Well, kinda, Sheree. We know your boobs are fake, which is fine. You've had a few injections, which is fine. Stop while you're ahead, though. No, you don't need no more injections. You look good, girl. But also, Sheree, you have to be consistent. I said it before. I would buy She by Sheree because Sheree works out and she's been doing it since she was on Housewives. I can believe that. You could look at her body, you could look at her arms and her legs and thighs and everything, and tells that she does take health and fitness seriously. Absolutely. But Sheree, you have to be consistent, and they should leave health and fitness and wellness to you. But you have to be consistent, and you have to strike while the iron is hot. So as she's saying this, Tyrone FaceTimes Sheree, and he gets to see all the women, for the first time. Honey, I don't know what Tyrone looks like, but based on the FaceTime screen, it's a no for me, dog. Moving on. So next, this is everyone's last day in New York, and Sheree is going to drive 2 hours to Philly to meet Tyrone. Listen, I really felt bad for Sheree. At the end, when she was crying, and she said, I think she said something like she had put her life on hold for years. That don't make no sense. It does not make sense to me. Let me tell you why he wouldn't put his life on hold for you. And it's obvious that he's gotten out the pan and he's not waiting for you. When I watch shows like Love After Lockup, I know part of it is entertainment because you have a show to produce, but stop putting your life on hold for these people. Tyrone doesn't give a damn about Sheree. I'm waiting to see the excuse he's going to give, because the whole thing about the producer saying, oh, well, his attorney called and he's on parole and he could meet yesterday, but he couldn't meet today. None of that makes sense. And as she stated, she spoke with him that morning and he said he was coming. And conveniently, as she's traveling to Philly, he's not responding to text messages. He's not picking up his phone. All of that was purposeful. He could have called her and said, hey, Sheree, you might want to turn back around or something because I'm not going to be able to meet today. He literally let Sheree sit out in the freezing cold and wait for him for 2 hours before his attorney called and said anything. I don't really know what to say except that, Sheree, you can do better. You can absolutely do better. And when Sheree was crying, that wasn't fake. A lot of stuff is fake on these reality TV shows, but that wasn't fake. And I just hope that you see your worth and your self-value and you move on from Tyrone. Tyrone needs to just do him. He's been in the pen for how long? No, ma'am. Absolutely not. You can do far better than him. You do not have to lower your standards to get a man. And hey, here's the thing. What's wrong with being single? I had a great time when I was single. There's nothing wrong with being single. And if you want to date occasionally. And if the quote unquote one comes along, great. But if he doesn't, great. Your life can still be fulfilled. But Tyrone is not it. And with that, if there's nothing else, you guys get down in the comments and tell me your thoughts about this episode. I think we may see Atlanta attempting to warm up, but we're still not there. But once again, this episode was far more enjoyable than the other four. So let me know your thoughts. And if there is nothing else, I will see you all later. Mwah.